Hello everyone, my name is Kurtis Schwartz, and this is the Sword Streaming. On October 7th, the faculty at WLC celebrated the retirement of 6 recently retired faculty members at the Radisson Hotel Milwaukee West. The event began with the reception at 5 p.m., which had a cash bar and a serving of heavy hors d'oeuvres, followed by the honorary program at 6 p.m. Following the honorary program was an interactive period provided with coffee and dessert stations. Among those celebrated retired faculty members was longtime theology professor Reverend Dr. Mark Brown, former WLC football head coach and vice president of student affairs Dr. Dennis Miller, former English professor Dr. Martin Moldenauer, former computer science professor Dr. David Schultz, former director of library services Starla Sigmund, and former communication professor Deborah Eaker. Congratulations to all of those individuals on your retirement. This past weekend, the WLC Concert Band and Jazz Band performed at the Fall Showcase Band Concert. They performed both Friday and Saturday night. Both bands practiced for weeks and put on a great performance. After last year's Parents and Family Day went virtual due to the COVID pandemic, the beloved yearly event made its return on October 9th. Parents and family members had the chance to enjoy a variety of events and activities with students. These events included mini classes in which parents got to experience a day in a WLC student's shoes, the Warriors Classic Car Show, and several sporting events. Moving on to some on-campus sporting events, the football team was not able to obtain their first win of the season after a 68-0 road loss to St. Norbert last weekend. This was after a 70-29 loss to Aurora on October 2nd at home for the Hall of Fame Day. The Warriors were only able to manage 169 total yards of offense against St. Norbert and surrendered 9 turnovers, including 7 interceptions. 4 different quarterbacks were given at least 5 passing attempts for the Warriors, and freshman Elijah Chevy led the team with 61 yards. Next up for the Warriors is another conference matchup on the road as they take on the 1-4 Rockford Rivets, before taking on Eureka for the homecoming game on the 23rd. On Sunday, October 10th, the men's golf team began participating in the end-of-year NAC Championship Tournament. Finishing on Monday, October 11th, they tied for second out of 10 teams with a par of plus 13. Solomon Zarling finished tops among Warriors golfers with an even 108 total. Trey Ganuico was tied for first in the tournament after day 1 and ended the tournament tied for 5th with a plus 1. The women's golf team, meanwhile, finished their NAC championships the week before with a 3rd place finish out of 10 teams with a plus 238 par. Senior Addie Slaminski, as usual, was the leader for the Warriors, finishing 7th among the 49 total qualifiers with a plus 47. The Warriors finished the season at the St. Norbert Invitational this last Sunday, finishing 2nd out of 3 with a plus 107 to end an overall successful season. The men's tennis team finished the weekend 0-2 with losses to St. Ambrose and Buena Vista in Davenport, Iowa. The men played next against Olivet Nazarene at home on Thursday the 14th to finish their preseason. The women's tennis team finished their regular season with another clean sweep against Concordia Chicago in River Forest, their 6th sweep of the season. They ended the season with an 8-6 overall record, including a 6-3 conference record. The team had nice momentum at the end of the season with 3 wins in a row, and they have 2 sets in March to show that progression once again. Men's soccer's weekend game against Aurora was postponed, bringing their record over the last 2 weeks to 1-2. After winning 4-3 in Edgewood on September 29th, they lost a thrilling double overtime game against UW Whitewater for family night. They also lost 3-1 on alumni night to a Lakeland team that took a 2-0 lead within the first 30 minutes of the match. The men continue their home stretch with a game against St. Norbert today, October 13th, before taking a couple of games on the road against Concordia Chicago and Benedictine. They then will come home on Saturday, October 23rd, to face Rockford for their homecoming and senior day game. On the other hand, the women's soccer team was on a 3-game winning streak before ending October 10th's matchup against Aurora with a tie. Alverno was forced to forfeit because of COVID regulations, but the 2-0 win over Finlandia and 8-0 win at Lakeland were well earned. The women will hope to extend their hot streak on the road against St. Norbert today. Finally, volleyball went 2-2 these last 2 weeks, including a 3-2 victory on Parent Appreciation Day on October 9th. After losing the first 2 sets, WC came back and won the next 3, including a back-and-forth 28-26 victory on the 4th set. Junior Jenna Sharon tied her career high with 18 kills in the victory, and she leads the team with 172 kills overall on the season. With 5 wins in their last 7 matches, volleyball will hope to keep the momentum with Rockford next on their schedule. On to Wisconsin sports. The Badgers stopped a 2-game losing skid on Saturday the 9th with a 24-0 win on the road against Illinois. Wisconsin had 491 total yards of offense, an absurd 391 of those yards coming from the running game. The defense, meanwhile, gave up only 93 total offensive yards against the Illinois offense. After being ranked 15th to start the season, the Badgers have had somewhat of a disappointing season to start with a 2-3 overall record over their first 5 games. But they hope that they can build a little momentum as they continue with 2 more weeks against unranked opponents before facing the current 2nd-seeded Iowa on October 30th. The Packers continued their winning ways with another thrilling victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. Up 16-14 at halftime, the Packers gave up a late touchdown to tie the game at 22 with 3:27 left in the game. From that point until the end of overtime, both the Bengals and the Packers attempted 6 field goals and only made 1 of them. Luckily, that one was made by Packers' Mason Crosby in overtime. After missing an extra point and 3 potential game-winning field goals earlier in the game, Crosby came through with a 49-yarder to seal the win for the Pack, 25-22. Next week, the Packers head to Chicago to face the 3-2 Bears in an NFC North rival matchup on Sunday the 17th at noon. We have 2 club and organizations we want to highlight this week. Our first club is the Diverse Student Union, or DSU. Way back on September 15th, the DSU had a potluck dinner for their first meeting, and while we're a little late to cover that one, Kendall talked to club president Raina Nixon to find out what DSU has next on their schedule.
I'm Raina Nixon. I am a senior here at WLC, and I'm majoring in secondary education, social studies broad field. I am also the president of the DSU here at Wisconsin Lutheran College, which stands for the Diverse Student Union. We recently started the Diverse Student Union last year in the middle of a pandemic, so it was a little bit of a rough start because we weren't able to do much, but we are doing a lot this year. We had our first event last month. We had the DSU potluck, and we got about 68 members to join. And we are constantly increasing as we continue to go about the school year. And what we do here on campus is we just bring awareness to all the different diverse cultures that we have here and on campus and off campus. We just want to inform and educate people because there are so many different minority groups that we don't know about and that we do know about, but we don't know their heritage, their culture, their lifestyles, their history. So we want to be able to bring all that to the forefront of the scene here at the a part of the Diverse Student Union. So we have several events every month because every month is a new culture that we bring awareness to. And so the upcoming month is Native American History Month, and we are currently working on some things for that month, but we don't have a solid plan as to right now. But we recently had a meeting this week, and we've just been preparing subcommittees because being a senior, I will be leaving, and I want to leave someone with the Diverse Student Union who is very passionate and adamant about the things that I'm adamant about, which is bringing different cultures to the light. So that's just a little bit about the Diverse Student Union.
Thanks, Kendall. Our second highlighted club this week is the Tabletop Roleplaying Game Club. Just as it sounds, the Tabletop Club is a group of people who meet because they love to play games. On September 28th, they had their first event of the year in Treffert Commons. About 20 people attended to play board games, including Exploding Kittens and Coop, and video games, such as Super Smash Bros., while enjoying Little Caesars Pizza. I was lucky enough to be able to attend this event, and if you enjoy making friends while playing new board games, I strongly recommend going to Tabletop Club. In terms of other on-campus news, there's a lot of musical excellence taking place this week. To start off, the Philmusica String Quartet Passionate Song and Dance Concert took place on Monday night. The musicians played several songs focusing on the art of song and dance. Violinist Matthew Michalik joined the quartet for their final song, Storm, by Ludwig van Beethoven. Because of COVID-19, the Zach Williams concert that was originally supposed to take place on May 15, 2020 had to be rescheduled. The Rescue Story concert with Zach Williams is finally coming to WLC on Thursday, October 14th. This concert will feature songs from his new album as well as other songs like Old Church Choir and Chainbreaker. Finally, in 1997, the sudden death of John Denver left the world wanting more of his music. Many people have done their best to perform John Denver's music, but none as well as Jim Curry. This Friday, October 15th at 7:30 p.m., Jim Curry comes to WLC to perform a tribute to John Denver. Take Me Home, the music of John Denver, will feature several of John Denver's songs, as well as images of wildlife photos and videos. This concludes another episode of The Sword Streaming. Remember, there will be no classes on Monday or Tuesday, the 18th or the 19th, so have a relaxing fall break. I'm Kurtis Schwartz, and until next time, God's blessings.